Hello everyone, welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live daily on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I want to welcome everyone to this final trading week of the year. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas holiday, and again we'll wrap up the year this final trading week of the year. So thanks for joining me today. All right, before I go any further, I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure. All Bookmap Ltd materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Here's my contact information. The best way to get in touch with me is through Discord. My name on Discord is Doug P. Also in Bookmap Discord, there's an Options-Doug chat channel. That's a great place to post questions, comments, and content related to the topics of my channel and the topics of my presentation, the topics of the channel, and the topics of my presentation, which I'll go through in just a moment. I'm also on X, formerly known as Twitter. My name there is at Doug Pless. The focus of my presentation today and the focus of the Options-Doug chat channel is options order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading, and the first is planning, and I use positional analysis. I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market and how those positions change from day to day to develop a thesis regarding the expected trading range and volatility for the day, as well as a directional bias. And the second step in my process is execution. I look at real-time order flow in Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow in Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis, and for setups for entries and exits. And when I talk about setups today, I will be focusing on an underlying asset, and setups in those assets can be taken any number of ways. For example, the S&P 500 setups can be taken with ES futures, SPY shares, SPY options, SPX options, or even ES options. And also note that the setups that I talk about generally are good for day trades, swing trades, or even longer term trades, depending on your time frame. Questions and comments are welcome, and I will be watching both the Options-Doug chat channel in Discord as well as the chat in YouTube for your questions and comments. Please feel free to post, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. And welcome, Jack. Glad you're here. Happy holidays to you. Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. All right, here's my agenda for today, and I forgot to change this. This is Wednesday, December 27th. So here's my agenda for today. First of all, I want to go over news items and economic data and events. Basically, there are none. And positional analysis. I'll go over my positional analysis, my planning for today. Then I'll review some setups from earlier today. And then I'll take a look at the live market. And when I get to the live market, if anyone has any stocks they want me to take a look at, please let me know, and I'll be glad to do that. All right, let's get started. So first of all, economic data and events, very minor this week, no high impact events. The jobless claims out tomorrow, and that's really it. Just again, low and a few medium impact economic events, and then it will pick up next week. All right, I also want to mention give me just a moment. There's Bookmap has a sale going on. I posted links in YouTube and the Discord chat. Also, here's the Bookmap site, and it's on annual subscriptions. So if anyone is on the fence thinking about Bookmap, or a current monthly subscriber, and you're very interested in an annual subscription, this is a great time to take advantage of that. So here again, everybody, New Year sale for annual subscriptions on Bookmap, and you can see the details down below. So again, I posted links in both Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel for this sale. All right, Antonio asked, says, I'm new to Bookmap. Can you explain how Bookmap can help me profit? What do I look for when using? All right, so there. Thanks for posting. Welcome. Glad you're here. There are a number of different ways to use Bookmap. I will talk about how I use it today. I suggest you go to the, if you're just interested in Bookmap in general, go to Learning Center here to get started. Also, Bookmap has a variety of live streams every day with different approaches. Bruce is an order flow trader, Scott Pulcini, futures trader, Jay Trader, stock trader, Tom B, also a futures trader, and I focus on stocks and options. So there are these are streams that occur, some every day, some every week, and I'm on every day, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I talk about how I use Bookmap. All right, let's get started with positional analysis now. And first of all, I want to start with the S&P 500. This is the ES futures in Bookmap. Great. Antonio says he's here for options, so you're in the right place. And my focus really is on how the options market has an impact on stocks and futures. And again, those setups can be taken any number of ways with futures, shares of stock, or options. All right, so this is the S&P 500. I want to start here. First of all, I want to take a look at a larger time frame. So I'm going to go to the underlying index, which is the SPX. And this is a one-day chart. I want to start with a larger time frame. And this is the rally that began on October 30th. The rally's still intact. And the rally has occurred for a variety of reasons. IV collapse, put Vanna rally, Treasury yields falling, FOMC reports, economic data like CPI reports coming in lower than expected. Anyway, the rally that began October 30th continues. Looks like it may continue into year end, and then we'll see about next year. All right, so that is a one-day chart. And just for reference, this rally that began in March, middle of March, was good for 800 points in SPX. All right, now, so we've looked at a one-day chart. Let's take a look at a 1 hour chart now. This is a 30-day 1 hour chart, again in Thinkorswim. Here I want to focus on the levels shown on this chart. So first of all, the dashed purple lines are showing the lower and upper weekly expected move. This is based on the options market. I update this once a week, so those lines stay in place all week. And then the dashed blue lines are showing the lower and upper daily expected move. These are updated once a day. SPX trading within both of those ranges, both again based on the options market. All right, the dark red lines are showing Spotgamma levels. These are levels that Spotgamma provides to their subscribers on a variety of trading platforms. Spotgamma takes open interest, applies their own proprietary algorithms to come up with these levels, and each level has a certain significance. So I'm going to go over the key daily levels now. So first of all, here's the put wall. That's the strike with the largest net negative gamma, and that can be expected to act as support. And that level did not change from yesterday, but yesterday it did drop from Friday. So now the put wall down at 4,500, and the next level up is the volatility trigger at 47.45. That is Spotgamma's proprietary volatility flip level. Below that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is negative. In a negative gamma environment, market makers have to trade with price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to enhance or increase volatility. On the other hand, above that level, like SPX is trading now, market makers' position on the gamma curve is positive. In a positive gamma environment, they have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to subdue or decrease volatility, leading toward typically a thesis of more range-bound, mean reverting trading days. And the next level up is 4,800. That is, first of all, the call wall. That's the strike with the largest net positive gamma that can be expected to act as resistance. And that is also the absolute gamma strike. That's a strike with the largest absolute negative and positive gamma. So that is where most of the gamma-weighted open interest is concentrated. And we'll take a look at the absolute gamma levels in just a minute. So that's the main or the key daily levels that I wanted to point out. Potential floor at 4,500, the put wall, and the potential ceiling at 4,800, the call wall and absolute gamma strike. And of course, SPX is much closer to the call wall than the put wall. And then finally, let's just take a look at a 1-minute chart so we can see the levels in play for today. And there's not really much. At least shown on this chart. All right, let's go to Bookmap now. All right, in Bookmap, I have my own cloud notes, so I can show SPX levels. Note this is 4780 resistance level. That was not shown on the 1-minute chart that we just looked at. This was noted as resistance in the Spotgamma AM Founders note. So on my own cloud notes, I can put that level in, and that level did act as resistance earlier today before the cash opened, and then again right around 10 a.m. and that was a good entry point for a short, right at the 4780 level, and also this 476 SPY level. That's a large gamma 2 level. So that those two levels together acted as resistance before the cash opened, and then right around 10 a.m. and a good entry point for a short. And then I also have the SPY 475 absolute gamma strike. And that level acted as support earlier today. Good entry point for a long just before 11 a.m. So note there is a difference in price between ES and SPX. And today it is somewhere between 48 and 49. So I'm using 49. And so I'm showing the SPX 4780 level at ES 4829. Again, ES minus SPX is 49 points. All right, so that's the S&P 500 trading in a pretty narrow range today. Now it looks like it is breaking out above the prior resistance level that did act as act as support. And one other thing, there was a 5-year note auction today at 1 p.m. and it looked like the S&P 500 was already moving higher. We'll take a look at and see what options traders. We'll take a look and see what options traders were doing. It looks like they were taking positive delta positions before this note auction, but that was a catalyst for a move higher. And Paul asks, is there an audio problem? Can someone confirm, maybe in YouTube and in Discord, can you hear me? All right, Jack says no audio problem in YouTube. So I don't imagine there's an audio problem in Discord as well. All right, thank you, Jack. Okay, all right, Paul switched to Discord. All right, Bubba says boo-boo. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. No audio problem in Discord. All right, great. Let's move on. All right, so we'll take a look at setups in a few minutes. But again, this was a 5-year note auction. And now the S&P 500 grinding higher. All right, shifts in levels for SPX from yesterday to today. There were no shifts in levels. And then for SPY, there were a couple of shifts in levels. The volatility trigger shifted higher 1 point, not really significant, but the call wall shifted higher from 475 to 480, getting closer to that SPX 4800 call wall. So that is bullish. That potential ceiling for SPY now moving higher to 480. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ now. All right, this is the NQ futures in Bookmap. And I do want to take a look, first of all, at a QQQ chart so we can isolate the QQQ levels and play for today. And the main level so far has been this 411 level, acting as support, resistance, and now after the note auction, QQQ has broken out above that level. Large Gamma 1 means that is the most important level, or the highest amount of gamma weighted open interest, ranked from 1 to 5, 1 being the most significant. And note for QQQ, the volatility trigger did move higher, and the call wall moved higher to 415. So from 410 to 415, so that just like SPY, the potential ceiling for price has now moved up to 415, and that is bullish. And also for QQQ, the absolute gamma strike moved up from 409 yesterday to 410, so that's also bullish. All right, that's QQQ. And then finally, let's take a look at NDX. Down the volume dots just a little bit, go to NDX, see if there are any levels in play for today. And not really. And note that NDX is trading above its call wall and above its absolute gamma strike. All right, let's go back to Bookmap NQ futures. So just like ES, I have my own cloud notes, so I can show QQQ levels and NDX levels. There are no NDX levels on this chart. So here's that 411 level acting as support right at the cash open, and then resistance, and now NASDAQ trading above that level. And Hector Welcome, glad you're here. Could be possible to analyze NQ or ES. I just already analyzed ES and I'm going over NQ now. And I'll talk about setups in a few minutes. All right, so now, for right now, I'm covering the levels in play as part of my positional analysis. And I talked about shifts in levels. The primary shifts in levels, the most important, again, the call walls for SPY and QQQ, and then the absolute gamma strike for QQQ. All right, Antonio, I will talk about CVD when I get to setups. All right, let's take a look at gamma notional to see how market makers were positioned on the gamma curve at the beginning of the day. This is part of the Spotgamma AM Founders Note provided to Spotgamma subscribers every morning. What I'm going to take a look at here is gamma notional. This is market makers' position on the gamma curve at the beginning of the day. This gives me a sense of the expected trading range and volatility for the day. In a positive gamma environment, again, I'm looking for smaller trading range, lower volatility. All right, note all these numbers are positive again. So for an index, Spotgamma assumes that traders are short calls, market makers long calls, hence the positive gamma. And in this positive gamma environment, again, they have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure. So note all these numbers did shift higher from yesterday, became more positive except for SPY, which really remained unchanged. So positive gamma. And I'm going to skip over the Vanna model. There's really nothing to see here, not much of a Vanna headwind or tailwind in the current environment. So let's take a look at the absolute gamma strikes just to get an idea of where the gamma weighted open interest is concentrated. I'm going to start with SPX. Zoom in on this chart. So this is the 4800 strike. That's the absolute gamma strike. The orange bars are showing call gamma, or for the market makers, that's positive gamma. And the blue bars showing negative gamma or put gamma. Blue bars, put gamma. So this is pretty obviously the strike with the largest absolute positive negative gamma. In a positive gamma environment, that it tends to attract price. So looking for price to focus on this level, especially as it gets closer. The closer SPX gets to that level, the amount of gamma will increase. And then here's the 5,000 level, and this is that has been the call wall and also the absolute gamma strike a few days ago, but now that is concentrated more at 4,800. All right, so that is the SPX. Let's take a look at SPY. And for SPY, 475 is the most important level. That is the absolute gamma strike. And note the call wall is up at 4,800, 480. And that's pretty obvious. You can just take a look at the call gamma and see how it dominates. So the orange bar minus the blue bar, that gives us the call wall at 480. So the gamma weighted open interest though is concentrated at 475. And then finally for QQQ, there's the 410 strike. That's the absolute gamma strike. All right, let's take a look at some setups now. And first of all, so my thesis for the day was looking for lower volatility and slightly bullish, considering the moves higher and the call walls for SPY and QQQ. All right, let's take a look at some setups now. I'm going to start with the SP 500, and this chart is showing this is the hero signal, hedging impact real-time options. This chart is showing price for SPX with the white line, and the hero signal showing options trades and market maker hedging activity for a combined signal for SPX, SPY, XSP, and ES futures. And a rising purple line indicates traders are taking positive delta positions. So when traders take positive delta positions, market makers take the opposite side of that, and they have to buy futures to hedge their delta exposure. So they're taking negative delta positions, and they have to buy futures, ES futures, to hedge their delta exposure. All right, let's take a closer look at this chart now. I'm going to zoom in. We'll take a look at a couple of setups. So first of all, in the morning, I mentioned this before. Initially, traders were taking positive delta positions, and just before 10 a.m., they started taking negative delta positions. And that coincided with that reversal lower at the 476.4780 level that had acted as resistance earlier in the day. So let's go take a look at Bookmap. Going to zoom in. So we know this level acted as resistance earlier in the day. Right here, right around 8:30. Acts as resistance again. So really the primary clues for this setup was the shift in hedging flow in hero, as well as the potential resistance at that level. Sorry about that. Turn break. ES starts to make makes a lower high. Note the shift in order flow here. The volume dots are showing market buy minus sell. Green dots indicate there are more buyers than sellers. Magenta dots indicate more sellers than buyers. So up until this reversal right around before 10:15, all these lines in the subchart were pretty flat. So cumulative volume delta shown by the pink line, flat. The blue line showing iceberg orders, so there were no buyers or sellers until price started to move lower. And then when price moved lower, sell stop orders helped to fuel the move lower. That's shown by the yellow line, also the on-chart indicator. All right, so if you were patient, there was a short setup. All right, let's take a look at this most recent long setup. Let's go back to Hero. Zoom in on this a bit, and note the very strong correlation between options trades, hedging flow, and price action. So hedging flow, this to me, this shows me that options trades and hedging flow are a very strong driver of price today. So let's talk about the long setup before the 1 p.m. Note auction. Note first of all this flow alert coming in right around 12:40. indicating significant options activity. And according to Spotgamma, these flow alerts are often good for a mean reverting trade. All right, so that flow alert comes in, and then the hero signal switches from negative delta to positive delta. Price responds pretty quickly. Yeah, it looks like there's another pretty sharp move lower. All right, so let's go back to Bookmap now. So here's that reversal higher that I was talking about. You can see all the aggressive buyers coming in right as options traders started taking positive delta positions. All right, this is, keep in mind, this is the Christmas week, the week between Christmas and New Year's, and volume is light, and this potential move, there's a large potential for these sharp moves that come out of nowhere. All right, let me check for questions. And Rob says, Rob, hello, welcome, glad you're here. Would it be correct to say for a reversal setup, we want to see either a flat or divergent CVD? Yeah, that would be a one of many things that I would look at. So I look for a confluence of events. I'm looking at order flow in Bookmap, hedging flow in Hero to develop a thesis for a setup or a narrative for a setup. So I'm not necessarily looking at CVD only. But CVD is certainly a very strong directional indicator in futures. Not necessarily in stocks, but I do look at it in futures. All right, so that was the short setup this morning, long setup, and then the kind of the bottom dropping out. Let's take a look. Let's go back to Hero. Take a closer look at this. Zoom in a bit. First of all, let's see. Note that Hero started moving lower, somewhere between 140 and 145. Hero making lower highs, and price responded maybe 10-15 minutes later. So we can take a closer look at this. First of all, let's see what traders were doing in terms of puts and calls. So the blue line is showing puts. A falling blue line indicates traders are buying puts. Sorry about that. Spotgamma is still working on this issue. So traders were buying puts. That started about just after that note auction. They were buying calls pretty aggressively, took their foot off the gas, and then just before 2 they started selling calls and price moved lower. Both the starting just before 2, the orange line, blue line moving in the same direction. That's a very powerful directional indicator. All right, let's go back to the total signal. Now let's take a look at the next expiry, which for the S&P 500 would be 0 DTE. So this is options trades that expire today. And note the very strong correspondence between the two lines. So the total signal shown in purple, and the green line or teal line is showing 0 DTE trades. And up about 2 o'clock, these were almost identical. So 0 DTE trades up until about 2 o'clock were making up a very, very large portion of the total options trades today. And then that diverged a little bit right around 2, where the purple signal started to drop more quickly than the 0 DTE trades. Whoops. All right, so the hero signal continues lower. Let's go back and take a look at Bookmap. I'm going to zoom out a bit. So we know this 475 level acted as support earlier today. We also know in a positive gamma environment, we're not necessarily expecting a large trend. We're expecting more mean reverting price action. So the green volume dots are showing that some aggressive buyers are coming in at that 475 level. Let's go back to hero. All right, let's move on. So there's a flow alert potential mean reverting flow alert. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ now. All right, NASDAQ, the main thing that I want to point out is this very clear divergence short setup. Note from the open, traders were taking negative delta positions, and then price was consolidating, moved higher, and just after 10 started to move lower. Let's go take a look at NASDAQ. Back to Bookmap, NQ Futures. Going to zoom in on the morning here. So there was no clear QQQ, NDX, or NQ level for the reversal. Just a trend break, somewhat of a shift in order flow. Buyers exhausted, aggressive sellers start to come in. And then finally, as price moves lower, this is cumulative volume delta, so not really providing much more than a confirmation. Also, sell stop orders helping to fuel the move lower. And then large traders start to come in, buying weakness. That's pretty typical, shown by the rising light blue line with they're buying with iceberg orders they use to hide their size. All right, so a short setup just about the same time as the short in ES. So here's the most recent short setup. Another trend break. Aggressive sellers. All right, let's go back to Hero. Note the Hero signal starts to turn lower about 5 minutes before price dropped. All right, Hector says that iceberg order on NQ is strong or low. Do you think there's exhaustion and buying entering? Well, first of all, let's take a look and see what options traders are doing. So that's my first clue. So it looks like the hero signal may be shifting. Let's go back to Bookmap. So this is a level around previous support for the day. No clear QQQ, NDX, or NQ level, but did act as support, lower bound, lower end of the range for today. We know it, again, a positive gamma environment. All right, there was a question about iceberg orders. So looking back earlier today with this rising line, 575, especially this week, that's pretty large. Now, what Bookmap is doing is aggregating 12 different executions into one signal there, because I've zoomed out quite a bit, but that in total is pretty large. Note more iceberg buys, and before, let's go back. And note before, large traders were selling this move higher. So before they were buying weakness. Now here, just after 1 p.m., whoops, wrong. They were selling strength. So again, that's an aggregated signal, 509 contracts, 11 different executions, and again, that is pretty large for NASDAQ, especially this week. There's 150 executions in 3 different executions. 150 contracts, 3 executions. All right, Hector says, thinking that 500 order, I guess this is the one that I was talking about right around before 10:30, some accumulation. So, again, what large traders often do, they like to buy weakness and sell strength, and they use iceberg orders to do that. So that is a good signal for a potential reversal. So I would be looking at a shift in hedging flow in Bookmap, and then a shift in order flow, and the iceberg orders are definitely one of the stronger confluences or confirmations of a potential reversal. All right, let's go back and take a look at Hero. So the hero signal now, it was trying to move lower, now continues to move lower, making lower highs. Let's take a look at one other signal. This is the MAG 7 signal. This is another combination signal. Let me just zoom out here. That combines options trades and market maker hedging activity for a combined signal for the stocks known as the Magnificent Seven: Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla. And these stocks are a large component, large part of the NASDAQ 100 for sure, and also the S&P 500. So let's zoom back in. All right, Jack says in 1.5 minutes the delta in Hero shifted from positive on the daily. Let's see, are you talking about which instrument? SP 500? So I have, for the SP 500, I have the total Hero signal at minus 419 million. Now I am looking at just the regular trading hours, so that may change a little bit. All right, so I'm not looking at all of this. All right, so given that, let's turn off the extended hours. All right, so during regular trading hours, this is a pretty small number, minus 379. All right, so Hero may be leveling off. All right, let's take a look at some stocks. Oh, well, let's go back to Mag 7. So the Magnificent 7, the total Hero signal is positive for the day. So far, for these 7 stocks, traders are taking positive delta positions. All right, let's take a look at Apple. Apple, initially, there was a short setup this morning. Traders taking negative delta positions. And then right around 11:30, Apple reversed higher as traders started aggressively taking positive delta positions. Note the flow alert, both on the short side and the long side. Let's just separate out puts and calls, see what traders are doing. So generally, the put and call line have been going in the same direction. Again, very powerful directional indicator. And this move higher at 11:30 looks like it was really initiated mostly by call buyers. That's shown by the rising orange line. So when traders buy calls, market makers sell the calls, and they have to buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. So let's go take a look at Apple and Bookmap. So there's the short in the morning. 192.50 is the hedge wall. Price breaks below that in the morning, below VWAP. Makes a double bottom just above 191. And then traders start aggressively buying calls right at around 11:30, and aggressive buyers start to come into, shown by the green volume dots. Let's take a look at Amazon. Note for Amazon, 155 is the call wall key gamma strike. Not a lot of movement here in Amazon. Let's go take a look at Hero. Go to Amazon. Short setup this morning. Flow alert indicating significant options activity. Price reverses lower as traders start taking negative delta positions. Let's see what they were doing. And they were mainly selling calls. That's shown by the falling orange line. Let's go back to Bookmap. So price makes a lower high as traders were selling calls. And again, not much movement in Amazon today. The next, Google. Let's take a look at Hero, and note for Google 140 is the key gamma strike that has been providing great support today. Also a target for this move lower. Note the heat map in Bookmap is showing a history of the limit orders in the order book. The darker the shade, the thicker the line, indicates more orders in the order book. And these this liquidity, in this case the limit buy orders, act as a magnet for price. Let's go take a look at Hero. Go to Google. Traders are selling calls. That is what is driving price today. Again, shown by the falling orange line. When traders sell calls, market makers buy the calls, and they have to sell stock to hedge their delta exposure. Sorry about that. Let's move on to Microsoft. Another short setup. 375 key gamma strike acting as resistance. Go to Bookmap. Pretty choppy day in Microsoft. 375. Let me bump up these volume dots. And many stocks like Microsoft, the opening print is so large that volume will dominate until the closing print. And note the point of control will remain at that level until the closing print. And here's that 375 key gamma strike acting as resistance. So that if you took a short at 375, that was good for 2 points in Microsoft. And let's go take a look at Hero. And again, traders were selling calls today, shown by the falling orange line. And when they took their foot off the gas, they stopped selling calls, started buying calls. Price started to move higher. All right, next stock, NVIDIA. No gamma levels in play for today. Let's see what traders are doing. Again, selling calls. Timely flow alert. Call sellers take their foot off the gas, start buying calls, and price starts to move higher. So this is the theme of the day is calls. Mostly call sellers. Let's go take a look at Bookmap. Go to NVIDIA. And by the way, these are the stocks that I keep in Bookmap all the time. And these are great stocks for trading, mostly the Magnificent Seven, very liquid stocks and options markets, price action heavily driven by options markets. So I have the Magnificent Seven stocks. Again, these are great trading stocks. I can just focus on these stocks, not look around. A lot of people like to trade stocks that are in play for the day, but I find there's plenty of action in these stocks, as well as AMD and Netflix. All right, so there is NVIDIA reversal lower right at the cash open as traders were taking negative delta positions, selling calls. And now price is recovering higher as traders, call sellers took their foot off the gas and they started buying calls. Let's go back to Hero. And you can see that more clearly by separating out puts and calls. Just right around 10:15, they start buying calls again and price reverses higher. All right, the next stock, the last stock I want to take a look at and Bihan. Hello, welcome, glad you're here. Happy holidays to you as well. All right, Tesla, here's the exception for the day. Bucking the overall trend and moving pretty aggressively higher. Note the call wall key gamma strike at 260. Tesla has breached that level. And Tesla is definitely responding to call buyers. Traders aggressively buying calls in the morning, shown by the rising orange line, timely flow alert. This is a very typical pattern, bullish pattern. Traders aggressively buying calls in the morning, price rises, and as the call buyers take their foot off the gas, the hero line levels off, price consolidates, and sometimes moves lower. Call buyers definitely dominating. Note the notional value there, positive 365 million versus puts. They're also selling puts today. That number is positive 44 million. All right, let's go take a look at Bookmap. Back to Tesla. There's that sharp move higher at the open as traders were aggressively buying calls. Market makers sell calls, and they have to buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. Let's just zoom in on this. So if you're trading stock, you really have to be fast. To take something like this, have an order, be ready to trade Tesla, have an order ready. One great way to trade this is just to buy a call at the open. All right, so there's Tesla. All right, let's. I've got just a couple minutes left. Let's just check the S&P 500 and NASDAQ again. All right, so it looks like the S&P 500 did find support at the 475 level. So in reality today, the range is very, very narrow in the S&P 500. So maybe 48.17 to 48.34, something like that. But if, again, finding support at the 475 level, that is the absolute gamma strike for SPY. Let's check NASDAQ. And by the way, this is this line here showing an iceberg order that was not fully executed here. So this horizontal blue line shows that this order remained in the order book and then was finally executed right around this level here. And certainly a catalyst for a move higher. One quick check of Hero and then we'll wrap it up for the day. Let's go back to the S&P 500. Hero has shifted higher. Again, the strong correlation between options trades, hedging flow, and price action continues. Not as clear in NASDAQ. Helps to look at the Magnificent Seven. That Hero signal has also shifted higher. Remains to be seen whether that is a move higher or just a higher lower high. All right, my time is up. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you very much for your questions and comments. Thank you for your participation. And I will see you tomorrow again as we wrap up this final trading week of the year. All right, thanks again, everyone. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.